Quill Tree and Harper Audio present The Boy Who Followed His Father into Auschwitz, a true story retold for young readers, by Jeremy Dronfield, performed by Fred Berman. A note before we begin. Don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider, or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/pages/The Boy Who Followed His Father into Auschwitz. It contains a timeline, maps, a glossary, and other information. This book is dedicated to the memory of Gustav, Tini, Edith, Herta, Fritz, Kurt, and all the victims and survivors of Nazi persecutions. Introduction. The story that you're about to read in this book is true. I feel I have to say that more than once, because sometimes you might wonder if it's an invented tale. So many incredible things happen to the people in it that you'd be forgiven for thinking that none of it could be real. I knew one of the people who lived through it. Fritz Kleinmann was 8 years old at the time when the story begins. When they were kids, Kurt and his brother Fritz saw things that would make your hair stand on end and your skin crawl. Kurt's mother had to send him halfway around the world, all on his own, so that he would be safe. Fritz was older and wasn't so lucky. He was sent to a concentration camp. People in Kurt's family, including Fritz and their father, wrote about the things that happened to them in diaries and books. Other people who lived through the same times also wrote about what went on. And there are official records too. I've studied them all and can promise you that this story is true, even if you think it sometimes seems too incredible to be. I often wish it wasn't true, because it contains so many horrible things that should never be allowed to happen. But it also has bravery in it, and love, and the goodness of people. It took place during the Holocaust, which happened in Germany and Europe between the years 1933 and 1945. It began with Adolf Hitler becoming the Chancellor, Prime Minister of Germany. Hitler was leader of the Nazi Party. The Nazis had started off just after World War I, which ended in 1918. Germany and its ally Austria had lost the war, leaving Germany in a terrible mess with awful poverty and unemployment. Hitler and his Nazis blamed Jewish people for all of it, the defeat and what came after. The Jewish people became a scapegoat for all of Germany's problems. The Nazis were fanatical racists, and they disliked Jews especially. Mistrust and hatred of Jews is called anti-Semitism, and it has been around for hundreds of years. Adolf Hitler and his Nazi followers took anti-Semitism to a whole new level. In Hitler's mind, Jews were the cause of everything that was wrong in Germany, including losing the war. He believed that Jewish people had enormous influence in world politics and business, and that they used their power for evil purposes. This was completely false, as well as being horrible and unfair. Jewish Germans and Austrians had fought just as bravely as anyone in the war, and Germany's defeat and the problems that followed were no more their fault than anyone else's. But that made no difference. It was simple to blame Jews, so that's what the Nazis did. By 1933, so many Germans supported the Nazis and shared their ideas that Hitler managed to get into power. He took over everything and abolished democracy. Right away, the Nazis started bullying Jews, taking away their jobs and businesses, and excluding their children from school, and trying to make them leave Germany. The Nazis put people they didn't like in prison camps called Konzentrationslager, German for concentration camps. At first, it was just political opponents, but eventually they began sending all Jews to the camps. Hitler invaded several other countries.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?